Thanks to Grandmaster Kolovic that released an interview with New in Chess, I came to know that he watched like 200 games played by Capablanca. He watched them over a board, not on the computer. Why do I say that? Because honestly, if you have ChessBase, you can have all the games played by Capablanca in just a couple of clicks. But to watch them over the board, you need to have more time to think, and then you also try to reproduce the feeling that that game had for you. Like if you play it in a tournament, right? If you play it in a tournament, yeah. In any case, so he told me that he collected some books from Capablanca, watched 200 games and studied them deeply. And so I'm trying to do the same, okay? I have collected some books about Capablanca. This is the book written by Cyrus Lakdawala, Capablanca Move by Move. Lakdawala is obviously a professional chess player with a grandmaster level understanding of the game. And so, without further ado, I want to show you game 31. Capablanca is white against Vera Menchik. Vera Menchik was the 4th woman world champion, if I remember well. Let's see what he says here. Today there are many female GMs. At the time this game was played, Vera Menchik was an anomaly. A woman who played at international level. Her male colleagues didn't all take kindly to her entry in what was traditionally an all-male sport. If I may add, is not the idea that it was all-male sport, it was adult male sport, because if I remember well, they didn't want children to play chess in that time, no? Only adults dress in a certain way and all this kind of stuff, you know. The story goes of a Viennese master, Albert Becker, who vehemently objected to Menchik's entry to the Karlsbad tournament of 1929. He ridiculed her by declaring that any man who loses to her would be a lifetime member of the Vera Menchik club. Guess who the very fourth member was? You guess it, the illustrious Becker. Learned the fine art of humility when he found himself in the unhappy role of Menchik's fourth victim in the tournament. Sadly, Menchik's life was cut short when she was killed in a V1 rocket bombing raid in England during World War II. Yeah, that's the terrible part. And the other part that one must never undervalue is the fact that you can lose against any type of player. So it doesn't matter if it's a male, female, transgender, child, senior, whatever it is. Just focus on the pieces. Play against the board. Don't focus on the people, because if one focuses on the people and just think that he will win a chess game because of the people that he has in front, in my opinion, he's gonna get it really badly. And it's a question of humility, in fact, yeah. Okay, Capablanca started with d4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, d6, and then f3. The King's Indian Samish was a rare guest in 1935. So this game was played in Moscow in 1935. And if I remember well, both Capablanca and Lasker were living in Moscow because in Russia they were treated really very well, like a special you know, very VIP, so it was the maximum level of comfort to be recognized in the streets. Castle, bishop e3, e5, knight g, e2, a6, queen d2, and here there is the fourth mistake of the game, bishop d7. Here it's the author writes, as you may suspect, in 1935 wasn't exactly halcyon days for kid theory. I haven't quite decided if curiosity is a vice or a virtue. It grows painfully obvious that Menchik was simply experimenting in the opening and didn't have a clue how to actually play it. Exercise planning, black last move, is a strategic error. How do we punish it? Okay, so it's a strategic error. Wow. What would you play if you were white in this position? Try to pause the game, the video, and decide. The move was d5. Why? Because you prevent black from playing knight c6. By the way, if I remember well, the Ramenchik trainer was Geza Marokzi, the Hungarian grandmaster. If there were grandmaster in that place, in that time period, I don't know. But Marokzi was a really good player, a player that have been in many chess books, and of course we have some opening formations like the Marokzi bind that remembers him. After d5, knight e8 and g4. So you see, knight e8, he immediately knows that black wants to play f5, and so g4 to prevent that. And he says, an obvious move if played today. Kappa discourages f7, f5, yeah, obviously. And then next is yet more territory. It looks as if white is a modern grandmaster playing an amateur who bought books on the kid but didn't bother reading them. Every black piece look misplaced. Okay, here I have a criticism of Lakdawala, because who said that because I buy a chess book I must read it. I just want to buy it to make the author richer and richer and put bread on his table, because in my opinion chess author maybe are not all that rich, apart from what I learned Mr. Jeremy Silman, but he was lucky and I'm happy for him in this sense. Okay, do any of you own Bronstein tournament book of the Zurich 1953 candidates tournament? Take a look at the King's Indian in that. Even the world's top players handle them horribly by modern comparison. For some reason, they took forever to play the key f7, f5 break. This game, played in 1935, tells a tale. Kappa plays as if the year were 2012. His opponent plays the kids like someone would in 1935. Okay, so this is very, very interesting. I think this is just make it worth to watch this game, right? h6, another mistake. And it seems sometimes it doesn't matter, you need to play it no matter what. Okay, so that's the real idea. h6, h4, and here you ask question, what is wrong with taking the free pawn on h6? Well, it seems it's obviously a big mistake. If you take the pawn on h6, you lose this. How do you lose this? Because of this check, right? So that's the reason you cannot take. Okay, so in the game was played h4, king h7. At that point you actually need to protect it, and knight g3. Of course, this position is already better for white. Why? The space advantage, it's very important in this case, and the difference is this. Watch here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces still in the fourth rank, original squares for at least 4 of them. I mean, it's terrible. Instead, white has 3 pieces out, is attacking this, these pawns are attacking. Clearly here you can evaluate the position and say white is better, okay? So how did black continue? c5, bishop d3, and queen a5. Here Lakdawala writes, I have a feeling Menchik would have done much better sticking with the queen's gambit decline. Maybe the time has arrived for the desperado b5. So instead of queen a5, he should have played something like that. Okay, enticing white into a very favorable Benko gambit, but please remember the Benko had yet to be invented. Yeah, in that time, 1935, this would have not called a Benko gambit, right? But for sure someone played it. Okay, after queen a5 follows queen e2 and rook h8. Question: I don't get it. Could you explain? Answer: you may be searching for meaning and secret encryption where there is none. Black doesn't have anything constructive to do and simply plays a very odd-looking waiting move. Sometimes an odd move remains just what it is, an odd move. I personally thought that he was trying to, she was trying to move the pieces on the king side to fight when there will be the open h5. That's my idea. Okay, how did white continue? With a3, and here it's followed by queen d8. Things are starting to go bad for black, as you can see. b4, and so Capablanca was really incredible for this idea of the double weakness. Practically, he thinks that on this side he has created a weakness and fix it, and so you don't do much anymore on this side because you're not going to win if you continue there. So what you have to do is go on the other side and start to create another weakness, because when there are 2 weaknesses, generally the position collapses. Okay, after b4, b6, queen b2, bishop c8, and now king e2. A beautiful move. Why? Because the king is safe in the center. He has connected the rooks, which can start an attack on that side. Beautiful move. Knight d7, rook a g1, like I said. So this is a beautiful move because it allows both the rooks to go on the king side. Rook b8. And here there is a diagram and an exercise in planning. Sometimes it is confusing to have many good options. White decide to go after his opponent king. Come up with a plan to do so. The answer is the step 1, which is to close the queen side, because once you close it, you can switch all the pieces on that side and eventually win the game. So how do you close the queen side? The answer is with b5. And here it says, question, isn't closing the queen side a strategic error? Answer, Kappa's brilliant strategic decision is just the opposite. It becomes all but clear that the king side is the canvas of Kappa's desire. By closing the queen side, he eradicates the possibility of sudden queen side destruction, while he is attacking on the other wing. a5. Why must black comply? No choice, otherwise white takes on a6 and begins to attack on the queen side. Step 2. Before launching an attack, transfer the king to the now closed queen side. So, wow, that's really interesting. He played king d1. Well, I think king d1, I might be wrong, it's also to open the second rank so that the queen eventually can go on there. Okay, so how does it continue? King g8, queen d2, attacking twice here, knight f8, king c2, and f6. This gives white a contact point. She should do nothing and then continue with that plan. In that case, white would have probably made preparation for a similar g4, g5 and f3, f4. So it says that if black didn't play this f6 but played something else just to keep the pieces strong, white would have stormed through thanks to g5 and f4. Okay, so that's the real problem. However, this f6 is considered dubious. Okay, so that's the fact. g5, h takes g5, and how do you continue now? Because this is very interesting. It continue with f takes g5, h takes g5, and h5. So this was the position in which I wanted to tell you how does white continue. And it's a beautiful, beautiful move, which is knight f5. Okay? The appetizer before the feast. The pseudo-sack marks the beginning preparation of a coming assault and the final moments of peace experienced by Black King. King f7, knight h4, queen e7, and here it says exercise planning, formulate a plan for white to make progress. The answer is, are you sure you formulated it? The answer is f4. Here is how you formulate the plan. But in the game, white played queen h2, beautiful move, knight c7, a mistake. It should have been better to play rook b7. Rook f1, king e8, obviously, and f4, because obviously at this point he wants to open the position. Notice if he's able to open the position, these two bishops become really, really powerful. Okay, e takes f4, bishop takes f4, king d7. This guy is really trying to escape at all cost. He's scared. Well, what do you think white would play in this position? I think the move is kind of how to say, clear. Okay, let me show you. Boom! Bishop takes d6, and here the Ramenchik resign. Why? Because if you play queen takes d6, there is rook f7, and it starts to destroy everything. The game is over. And here it says this game, which I almost tossed into the attack chapter, shows just how far ahead strategically Kappa was for his time. No wonder they all thought the King's Indian was unsound for black in those days. I hope you enjoyed this game by Capablanca against Menchik with the move by move format. If I receive enough positive feedbacks, I will publish other games from this book and other on Capablanca. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.